Co-op campaigns have been vastly improved. Starting off with the most exciting things, you can now play with up to 8 different players. Turns are now simultaneous, which is a huge quality of life change and probably the best change out of everything. And there are also 2 new campaign types. The first is a Kislev campaign where you play as the 3 different lords, Kassultan, Katerin, and yes, Boris! And you don't have to unlock him either to access him in this campaign. You'll be playing as Kislev, trying to push demons out of your territory. There's quite a few of them though, and you're on a turn limit. If you don't complete your capture quests in time, you straight up lose the campaign. So things seem pretty stacked against you, but there's quite a few differences that makes things a little bit more manageable. For one, some diplomacy options with factions are restricted, for example, trading and demanding money, and just about everything completes faster. Recruitment for most units is reduced by about a turn. Your main settlement starts at tier 4, and research is at 400%. Everyone will also have some nasty starting armies, and quite a few levels to their name. And as a way to fund your armies, it seems like battles are also offering much more gold. After killing off a demonic 20 stack, I got about 8,000 gold from winning the battle. Overall, the Kislev campaign is short, sweet, and reasonably difficult. For the other campaign type, you're in a different location and the objective is different. Here, it's more of a free-for-all type situation where each player gets 1 point a turn for each settlement they own. The max turn limit is 30 before the campaign ends, but it should end well before that, since the first player to 40 points wins. Many of the starting locations have been moved around so that everyone is close together, and in my first playthrough, it wasn't long before I started fighting against my human opponents. And of course, if you're not interested in these types of campaigns, there's also the original campaign style. You'll begin in your normal starting location and you're racing with the other players to complete the campaign objective, that being to travel into the Chaos Realms to capture 4 souls. First to get all 4 wins. Now technically, this objective is different from the sandbox style in the older games, but of course if you want to ignore the objective and just fight each other, that's also an option. As for notable battle improvements, there's quite a few and I'll try to answer some initial questions along the way. First off, gifting units now has a little bit of UI. When you click the button, you can choose which allies you want to give to. This isn't restricted to your military allies though. Instead, players can choose to help you out before the battle. And retaking units has also been added to the game. So instead of units disappearing from the hotbar when you give them away, they now stay and have an X on top of them. When you want to take them back, simply click the X button and you'll get them back. Another good quality of life change is that when you're gifted too many units, you can re-gift them to another player if you're feeling overwhelmed. Another interesting thing about how the system works with multiple players, full army control works on a first come first serve basis. So the first person to take control of an AI army is also the person that divvies up the units. They're also the one that controls siege supplies and can basically be thought of as the proper commander of the army. So if 2 players try to take control of an AI army, the first one to click will have control of the entire army, but they can give control to the second player that clicked. As for magic, it works on a shared system. So if you gift your mage to one of your allies, they better be careful not to spend all your magic. And that's basically all you need to know about the co-op changes. CA seems to have put in a good amount of work to make sure they're all unique. The scenarios seem to be designed rather than haphazardly thrown together, so I'll definitely be streaming this in the future.